Give a brief synopsis of the film. What effective teaching practices did you observe?
From the film Teach, it was basically about a few teachers in certain schools showing their different methods in teaching and how they incorporate new technology into their classrooms for their students. They showed how when teachers are faced with students who have difficulties learning in class and are behind in grade level, they also were talking about, well, basically, it was just showing how the teachers would cope with that outside of the classroom and in the classroom, making it better for making different lesson plans and coming up with different ideas to help the students learn better and to help them progress in the classroom. Teaching methods that I saw from this were possibly the 360 teach, which is what one of the teachers used for a math lesson. She put all the whiteboards around the classroom and got all the students, they had their own whiteboard, their own marker, and they would be around the classroom while the teacher was in the middle. And whatever work they were doing, the teacher was able to see and was able to help the students more efficiently than them being all at their desk and her calling them. She could be there and look around and see who was struggling, who needed help. She could direct helping of students with other students and like peer mentoring in a way. And the one-on-one teach method was also something that I thought was very helpful. The first grade teacher, the male teacher, he had a younger student who was struggling in reading, and he took his time out to help her individually in the back of the classroom at his teacher's desk or help desk, and he would help her read and help her try and understand reading material to get her the reading level up higher. He wanted her to be at least caught up with the rest of the class, or at least a year ahead of where she was, since she was pretty far behind from the rest of the classroom. So I thought that him being able to help her individually and encourage her that she could do better was a teaching method that I would think that I'd be able to use.
What is something that you know now that you didn't know before? And what shocked you about the film?
Something about the film that I know now that I didn't know before. I would say the meetings that the principal would have with the individual teacher on an individual student. They had conferences about the students to help or find ways that would help each student that was well, to help the student that was probably struggling the most in the classroom. So they had a few different meetings about different students, but they were primarily focused on helping the students get better. I mean, something that shocked me about the video was I would go back to the 360 teach for this one. The teacher and the administrator who came up with the idea, I thought it was cool that they thought of better ways to incorporate a teaching and to help the students learn faster since they were all struggling in the classroom, it seemed like. They came up with the 360 idea off a whim, basically, and they incorporated it into the classroom pretty quickly because they were that passionate about their students learning.
How did the film influence your motivation to teach? Which teacher did you relate to the most?
Um, I'll start off with the teacher. The teacher I related to the most was the first grade male teacher, Matt Johnson. I related with him the most because that's most likely where I would be and become the teacher. Since I'm also a black male and I'm wanting to be an elementary school teacher, I would relate to him the most just because he's what I plan to be. And the way he cares about his kids and they know that he cares and the connections he made with his kids, that's something I want to do. So I can relate with him the most because that's basically a model for me. And motivation wise, it just shows that there's a lot of things that I can do to become a better teacher and to help all my students learn better, focus better, and stay on track in school. So motivation would come from the teachers caring so much about their students that they did all that they could to help the students, and they never gave up on the students either. So that also influences me to want to become a great teacher.